Elias was a man who kept to himself. He lived in a small fishing village by the sea, the kind of place where everyone knew everyone and everyone knew that Elias didn't like to be bothered. He ran the lighthouse alone, repaired nets alone, and when the weather was good, he took his small boat out to fish, alone. One autumn evening, the fog rolled in thick from the ocean. The horizon vanished, the sky and water blending into one pale sheet. Elias lit the great lamp in the lighthouse as he always did. The beam cut across the night, but that evening, something was different. The fog seemed heavier than usual, like it had weight. As Elias was checking the mechanisms, he heard footsteps on the wooden stairwell. He frowned. Nobody visited the lighthouse at night. A boy appeared in the doorway. Maybe 12 years old, wearing a soaked jacket far too big for him. His cheeks were red from the cold, and his eyes were wide. "Mister," the boy stammered. "They sent me from the other side of the bridge." Now, the bridge was nothing more than a narrow wooden walkway that connected their village to the smaller cluster of homes on the far side of the inlet. In thick fog, crossing it was dangerous. One misstep and you could fall into the freezing water. "What's wrong on the other side?" Elias asked. The boy swallowed. "My sister. She's sick. Mama said we need the doctor, but he's in your village, and I can't find the way in the fog." Elias stared at the boy for a long moment. It wasn't his problem, he told himself. The boy's family could have come earlier, before the fog. He had his own work. But something, maybe the boy's trembling hands, made him sigh. "All right," he said finally. "I'll take you." They stepped out into the night. The world beyond the lighthouse door was muffled, the only sound the creak of the planks under their boots. The fog swallowed the beam from the lighthouse after only a few feet. The bridge was barely visible. As they crossed, Elias kept one hand on the rail, the other steadying the boy. Halfway across, the boy asked, "Mister, do you ever get scared here alone?" Elias thought about it. "Used to. But I learned that fear's just fog in your head. You keep walking, it clears." They reached the far side, and the boy led him through the winding paths of the village. When they arrived at the boy's home, Elias saw a small girl lying pale on a bed, her mother trying to keep her warm. Without hesitation, Elias said, "Stay with her. I'll bring the doctor." He ran back across the bridge faster this time and into his own village, pounding on the doctor's door. Within minutes, the doctor was following him through the fog. The next morning, the sky was clear. The girl would recover. The boy's mother thanked Elias, but he only nodded and left without a word. Years passed. Elias grew older, slower, and the sea took more of his friends than he cared to count. But one winter, when he fell ill and couldn't tend to the lighthouse, a man came knocking at his door. It was the boy, now grown, with the same wide eyes, but taller and stronger. Without asking, he lit the lamp, repaired the nets, and made sure Elias was cared for. "Why?" Elias asked from his bed. The man smiled. "Because once, in the worst fog I ever saw, you walked me across a bridge I couldn't find alone. Figured I'd return the favor. Lesson, the kindness you give, even when it's inconvenient, has a way of finding its way back to you, sometimes years later, and sometimes in the exact moment you need it most."